Welcome back everybody, you're here at Behind the Fame, and today's featured video spotlight is, who we have in the studio is legendary film director Frank Capra. Join us as we celebrate his life and career. Frank Capra was an Italian-American film director, producer, and screenwriter who rose from impoverished Sicilian immigrant to one of Hollywood's most influential filmmakers of the 1930s and 40s. Winning 3 Oscars for Best Director and becoming closely associated with optimistic, populist stories about the little guy and American democracy. His reputation later rested especially on It Happened One Night, Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, You Can't Take It With You, and It's a Wonderful Life, plus his World War II documentary series Why We Fight. Early life and entry into film. Frank Capra was born Francesco Rosario Capra in 1897 in Bisquico, Sicily, immigrating with his family to Los Angeles in 1903. Grew up poor in an Italian neighborhood and worked from childhood while attending school. He studied chemical engineering at Caltech, served as a U.S. Army officer in World War I, struggled with unemployment afterward, then bluffed his way into low-level film jobs in San Francisco before moving into writing and directing shorts and slapstick comedies. Columbia breakthrough and 1930s peak. Returning to Harry Cohn's Columbia Pictures in the late 1920s, Capra quickly became the studio's key director, embracing sound technology and forming a crucial collaboration with writer Robert Riskin. In the 1930s, he directed a remarkable run of hits. It Happened One Night. First film to win the Big 5 Oscars. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town and You Can't Take It With You, followed by Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, which crystallized the Capra myth of an idealistic individual challenging corruption and celebrating American democratic ideals. World War II and Why We Fight. After Pearl Harbor, Capra volunteered for the U.S. Army Signal Corps as a major and was tasked by General George C. Marshall with explaining to soldiers why the U.S. was fighting, leading to the 7-film Why We Fight documentary series and related training films. These films, using enemy footage, animation from Walt Disney Studio, and strong narrative structure, won the 1942 Oscar for Best Documentary for Prelude to War, and came to be regarded as landmark American war documentaries. Capra later considered them his most important work. Post-war films and declining output. After the war, Capra co-founded the independent company Liberty Films and directed It's a Wonderful Life in 1946, which underperformed at the box office but was later reappraised as a classic and ranked among the most inspirational American films. Subsequent features such as State of the Union, Here Comes the Groom, Riding High, A Hole in the Head, and Pocketful of Miracles had mixed success, and by the mid-1960s, he retired from directing as his style seemed out of step with changing post-war and post-studio era tastes. Style, politics, and legacy. Capra's films often featured ordinary protagonists, sentimental but tough optimism, comic drama blends, and faith in community and institutions, leading critics to coin terms like Capra-esque, and to link his work to the American dream, even as some saw it as naive or ideological. Politically, a Republican and staunch anti-communist who later wrote the memoir, The Name Above the Title, he nevertheless won admiration from diverse critics and filmmakers. By the late 20th century, It's a Wonderful Life and his 1930s films secured his place as a central figure in classic Hollywood cinema. Personal life and death. Capra served twice in the U.S. Army World Wars I and World War II, and reached the rank of colonel, and received decorations including the Distinguished Service Medal and Legion of Merit. He married twice, to Helen Howe and then Lucille Warner, with whom he had 4 children, including producer Frank Capra Jr. Lived his later years in California's Coachella Valley and died in La Quinta in 1991. He was only 94, and he was buried at Coachella Valley Public Cemetery. That was the remarkable life and career of film director Frank Capra. Everybody has seen one of Frank Capra's films. You must have, especially It's a Wonderful Life. One of the best holiday films of all time, one of the best films of Americana ever directed, filmed, produced, starred in. It's a Wonderful Life was magical. Check out Frank Capra movies. Look him up on YouTube. You'll see a list of movies, clips, snippets from all of his movies, his works. You can even find his docuseries of the war, the 7-part war series that he did, where he won the Oscar. What are your thoughts on film director Frank Capra as a director, a student of directing? In other words, if you went to college to study film directing or producing, whatever, what do you like best about Frank Capra? Do you like his movies from his vision, his eyes? They all tell a story, and everyone has a unique lens when watching a film. They see things differently, but with his movies, you're looking at his movies, his storytelling, his actors through his lens, his views. That was the wonderful life and career of film director Frank Capra. I'm Tony. Thanks for joining me here at Behind the Fame. Any questions, comments, or feedback, leave them below. Don't forget to click subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you all in the next video.